friends, welcome to VEDIO Studies. I am Bala. Today I will explain about competitive exam reasoning syllabus counting figures. Counting figures. So first we have to learn basics. In basics, first one squares, second one rectangles. Okay, squares and rectangles. So in this, first we have to learn about squares. So if we see this figure, in middle one of the plus symbol is there. This plus symbol is divided this square into 4 squares. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 squares are there, and this is a big square. So 4 plus 1, 5. So in this 5 squares are there. Okay. So if we see this figure, same like this, but another square is added. This is another square. See here. Okay. So 5 plus 1, 6 squares are there. Here, how I did 5 plus 1 means, here before this figure 5 squares are there. In this here, one of the square is added. So 5 plus 1, 6 squares are there. Okay. So in this figure, again, if we count how many squares in this square, here same like this squares, but another 2 lines are joined. See here, one of the line and this is one of the line. Okay, so these lines are again divided into this inner square as 4 squares like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here 6 plus 4, 10 squares are there. See, I am explaining again. Here same like this figure, but 2 lines are added. Okay, so these 2 lines are dividing as this square into 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here 6 plus 4, 10 squares are there. Okay, so this is squares. Okay, basic squares. We already seen basics, and next rows is equals to columns. So in this square, rows means vertical columns. Rows is also known as vertical columns. Here rows are 1, 2, 3 rows are there, and here 1, 2, 3 columns are there. Columns means like this. Okay, so we have to find how many squares are there in this square. We have to do 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square. Okay, so here 1 square means 1 plus 2 square means 4 plus 3 square means 9. 1 plus 4, 5. 5 plus 9, 14 squares are there. Okay, so in this big square, 14 squares are there. So like this we can do in rows is equal to columns. So if we see this big square, here 1, 2, 3, 4 columns are there, and here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows are there, which means rows is not equal to columns. So if we see, we have to find how many squares. So in this, first we have to multiply biggest number in rows and biggest number in columns. So here 5 into 4, which is equals to 20, and second biggest, which means 4 in columns is 3. So we have to multiply 4 into 3, 12. And third biggest, which means 3. And here third biggest, 2. So we have to multiply 3 into 2, 6. And here fourth biggest, 2. And here fourth biggest is 1. So 2 into 1, 2. And there is no numbers again in columns. So we have to add these numbers. So if we add 12 plus 6, 18. 18 plus 2, 20. And 20 plus 20, 40. So in this 40 squares are there. Here when rows are not equal to columns, like this method we have to follow. When rows is equals to columns are there, we have to square the number, then we have to add. Okay. So this is the finding squares. We have already seen rows are equal to columns. So in this rectangle, rows are not equal to columns. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4 columns are there. And here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows are there. So we have to add rows and columns. So here how many columns are there? 4 plus 3, 7. 7 plus 2, 9. 9 plus 1, 10. So 10. Sum of the rows are 10. And sum of the columns. 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 3, 6. 6 plus 4, 10. 10 plus 5, 15. So the sum of these numbers is 15. So we have to multiply 15 into 10. So 15 into 10. So 150. How many rectangles are there means 150 rectangles are there. Okay. So like this we can do when they give rows are not equal to columns. Okay. We already seen the basics of squares and rectangles. So first in basics we learned that like this square and divided into 4 parts, which is plus symbol, and like this model is this. So between a square is there. So in this square 4 squares are there, and this is big square, 4 plus 1, 5. And in this also 1, 2, 3, 4 and the big square 5. So if we add 5 plus 5, 10 will be the answer. 10 squares are there in this square. Okay. So like this we can do. Okay. Here I took only this square, not embedded square. Embedded square means inside this square. So in this 1, 2, 3, 4 squares are there, and the big square 5. Okay. And the inside square, this is 1 square, and inside 4 squares are there. 4 plus 1, 5. So in this 10 squares are there. Okay. So if we see this figure, same figure but another square is added. So 10 plus 5 become, because here outside is again divided. So outside 1, 2, 3, 4 and big square 5. So 10 plus 5, 15 squares are there in this square. Okay. So like this we can find. So in this we can easily find, see here same model but 4 are there in the big square. So in this one of the square means 10. So 4 are there. So 10 into 4, 40 squares will be there. Okay. So like this we can do in competitive exams. Here we have already seen the basics of squares and rectangles. On the basis of squares and rectangles, like these models we have to do. So if we see this figure, I am closing these 4 squares and it forms a big square. Here 1, 2, 3 columns are there and 1, 2, 3 rows are there. rows are equal to columns means this is a square. So we have to square the numbers. 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square, which become 14. 1 plus 4 plus 9, 14. So we have to add outer squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. So plus 4, which become 18 squares. Okay. So if you see this figure, I am taking outer figure only. Outer figure only, not taking inner figure. So outer figure means a plus symbol is there, which means 1, 2, 3, 4 and outer square 5. So 5 square will be. Okay. I am taking inner. See here, this is a square and here plus symbol is there. Plus symbol is there and inner another square is there, which means in basics we learned that in a square, in inner portion another square will be there means 6. Okay. Plus, and this is a square. Okay. And this is inner square, which means it is also a model of basic. So plus 6. And this is the last square, which means 1, 2, 3, 4 and big square 5. So we have to add plus 5. 5 plus 5, 10. 6 plus 6, 12. 10 plus 12, 22. So 22 squares are there in this figure. Okay. So this is the today topic. ఈ వీడియో కనుక మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే ప్లీజ్ లైక్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి. If you have any doubts, please comment on the comment.